Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 7 of Finding Out. So today's episode is kind of like, why does our generation have such a fear of growing up and trying to hold on to our childhood self? From like buying toys and teddies even though I'm 22, to the ice bucket challenge just coming around again, to even like just the idea of like kind of fearing responsibility as like an adult or like growing up. I don't know, I'm gonna try and unwrap why there's such a fear of wanting to be an adult, and hopefully some of you can relate to it, I hope. Or I'm just crazy and I just want to be a kid forever. Literally, what is it called, like Peter Pan syndrome, whatever it's called. So starting off with like toys and teddies, Jellycat became really big all of a sudden. If you don't know what they are literally teddies, and our generation just became obsessed with them, and they still are now, obsessed with just buying these cute little teddies for absolutely no reason other than the fact they just went viral. And I don't know, like there's no, my finger can't put, like I can't put a finger on it of why these things became so viral, but they just did, and we all decided to buy one. I bought one. And then even things like literally that are blown up at the moment are called Labubu's. I bought one. I couldn't tell you why, I don't know why, but I just felt this urge, this need to like unbox this mystery item as if I was like 5 opening my Moshi Monsters again. It's such a nostalgic feeling. I think that's the reason why I do it, because I feel like when you do things that relate to your childhood or like give you nostalgia of your childhood, it relieves stress. And I know that sounds crazy, but like when you go back to a place where you didn't feel stressed, or you felt like at ease, it's obviously going to put you in that place again. So for people who are like, why the hell am I buying this, it's kind of like, I kind of answer my own question. It's literally because you're trying to relive the unstressful life that you had when you were as a kid. Because now I think there's so many more responsibilities as you grow up, which is normal obviously, but again, our generation of growing up is so different to like our parents or like our grandparents. Like we're in such a different stage of growing up that I think social media has kind of put a trap on us of how we should live our lives and things like that. I think like also the idea of trying to have it all together by your 30s also puts this expectation of just growing up, when really like I believe that the older generation was stuck in a bubble of like, the way you grow up is you get a job, you get married, or you buy a house. And I think it's so different. I think the idea of growing up, the meaning of it has changed. It changes every single day in our generation, because growing up for us now can mean so many different things. I mean, in terms of like, it could literally mean as simple as like going on a food shop by yourself and buying yourself your own food shop. Simple things like that, or like not necessarily markers, just like steps to being an adult. Like I said before, it used to be like being married, having kids, and that was like what an adult is, whereas now I feel like it's just so different. I just feel like our generation is definitely trying to find another way to become an adult, or have this idea of what an adult is. Like we go traveling, or we try and experience what life is, rather than what the stepping stones are to being this, what the older generation have called an adult, if you know what I mean. I feel like we don't necessarily really know what an adult is, and we're still trying to figure that out. And I think that is, yeah, down to social media, because social media put kind of, I feel like sometimes social media kind of like tells us what an adult is and how to be an adult. And I think that's why sometimes toys and things do come into it. It's like, oh, if you buy this, then you're part of this age group, or if you get this makeup, you're part of this age group, and that creates the idea of what an adult is in our head, which can be negative and positive obviously. But I just find the thing that makes me go crazy is an idea of how something can go viral out of nowhere. Like Jellycats and Labubu's went so viral kind of for no reason really, other than the fact they're cute. But I generally think it's literally because we just want to stay a kid, and that's okay. We just wanted a stress-free life, and if that gives like a little bit of nostalgia of like feeling less stressed, then why not do it, if you know what I mean. Also, I'm sweating in this car. It is so hot today and I'm sweating. Also, I think the idea of like acknowledging that it's not actually bad if you don't want to grow up. Because I feel like sometimes, I know there's that phrase where it's like, oh, grow up, fair, but like sometimes it's not all that bad if you don't necessarily want to grow up. You don't have to grow up to be successful. There are kid influencers out there. There are kids like who are doing things, like achieving things as much as adults are, you know. You don't have to be an adult in order to achieve life. I feel like you either have to be an adult or you're a teenager. Like there's no in between, and I think that is literally what your 20s is the in between of an adult and a teenager. And it's just a weird phase to be in, because I don't feel like an adult, and I feel like that's so normal for so many people. And I know some people who are even older than me and they don't feel like an adult, and it's like trying to find like the in between of like what this is called. I guess it's just being in your 20s or being in your 30s, or just like growing up to be an adult. Like I just don't think I will be an adult until, I don't think I'll be an adult ever, to be honest. I feel like I just will have that child in me forever, because I want to stay young, I want to stay active, do you know what I really want to do? This is so random, but I really want to climb a tree. But then I also don't, because I feel like I'd look like a right weirdo just in a tree. It'd be alright if I was with like a load of friends, then it won't look so weird. But like I'm not doing that on my own, that's a bit step too far. But I really want to climb a tree like a kid, and I feel like that's just not talked about enough. Like it's so normal. Like I want to ride a bike. That is normal, but like I want to ride a bike like a kid. Like I want the stabilizers on my bike, even though I can ride a bike. I want to go on a scooter again. Like I want to do everything I did as a child, because for me, I know that gave me so much happiness. It might not work now, but like maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe I'll climb a tree and let you guys know in the next podcast. Like what I meant about like there's no in between is like I could still buy a jelly cat or what you would call a toy, but doesn't mean that I can't pay my bills, or I can't, like, I don't know how to be an adult. Like just because like I'm buying like these trends that are for, I don't know how to explain this, like just because I'm buying a jelly cat, or just because I'm buying something that like adults shouldn't be buying, doesn't mean I'm not an adult. I'm just having a bit of fun, and let me be, all right? That was a weird laugh. Like I don't know, don't get me wrong, sometimes I do sit there and think, wow, should I get my life together today? Should I accomplish the world? And then on the other hand, I'm like, I think every day, slowly, without realising, I'm doing that anyways. Like you don't just have to have this massive plan and think, right, I've got to do this, this, this in order to be an adult, to accomplish this. It kind of just happens. I was never meant to go to uni, but I had, my ex-boyfriend went to uni, and I was like, oh, okay, that sounds quite fun. Like, what could I do at uni? And then obviously it happened. I didn't even go through UCAS. Like I went through the uni website, which I don't think they even do anymore. So I'm kind of thinking in my head, like, things just happen and that's okay. Like not everything's okay, don't get me wrong, but like things that you want to achieve, I feel like obviously sometimes you've got to put a bit of effort in to get it back, don't get me wrong, but I don't know why sometimes I just feel like if you're there at the right time, things happen. Like if I didn't go to uni, I would have met my best friend. If like, it's like a 50-50 chance like there's a new door to open every time, you know, and it's like you might get lucky, you might not, but like the majority of the time when you do get lucky, it's like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say now, I've kind of lost track, but it's like, I just feel like this is the problem with me. I kind of go off track and then I kind of forget what I was talking about, and I've done exactly that. Like I've actually switched off my brain to the point where I actually have no idea what I just spoke about. I think I need some help. That's okay though. Next. So don't get me wrong, there are differences from me being a kid versus being an adult. Kind of just having like your own rules on things and like how you want to live your life. Completely different to being a child. I don't want this podcast to come across as like there isn't a difference between a kid and an adult. Like there is, but I mean in terms of like the in-between of like being in your 20s, then I don't really know. You're not really a kid, but you're not really an adult. But just because you're doing things that you did as a kid doesn't mean you're not an adult. Like there's just not an in-between, and I just find that really difficult. I think it's crazy that the ice bucket challenge has come around again. Like I never thought I'd be here to see that come around again. Like I know I was probably quite young when it happened. I feel like I was in secondary school, but it's so weird to see it happen again. It feels like it feels like the cinnamon challenge is about to come back. It feels like the flower challenge is about to come back. It feels like Chubby Bunny's about to come back and Zoella's gonna like show us how to do a makeup routine. Like, it generally feels like I'm going back in time, and it's a weird feeling. It's a nice feeling because it's like, I loved the childhood I had without phones, and I feel like little challenges like this are the reason. I think little challenges like this, I know it's so small, and I know obviously you had to post like the ice bucket challenge on your phone, but it just wasn't such a big deal then. And like, I'm so grateful that I just grew up in a generation where I didn't have phones until I was maybe in secondary school, but not even then wasn't like a big thing. And I feel like maybe that's why our generation is so confused what an adult is, because we're living on social media now. We're not really living with people around. Like, we're living with the people around us, don't get me wrong, but we are so zoomed in to what our phone is telling us that it's just like, when my granddad or like when anyone used to say, oh, it's those phones, and it's like, what do you mean it's those phones? Now, like, I get it, it is the phones. And it's just, I don't know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of harder to hit milestones like buying houses or having a wedding because you can't even find a fucking boyfriend at the moment. It's really hard because, like, obviously we've grown up on our phones now. Like, I don't think anyone's come up to me and asked me out for a date, which would have been so normal when my parents were growing up. Like, it's so not like that now. So even trying to find like a boyfriend is just ridiculous. I think everyone is just craving to have this like fun life. Like, when you go on social media, it's like obviously all their highlights. So it's like them traveling, them going out with their friends. Like, no one puts the bad stuff unless you're purposely an influencer who does that, but reality is nobody does that unless that's your purpose to do that, if you know what I mean. The thing is, I feel like there's been times where I've tried to grow up but kind of been conflicted with like still having the kid, like my childhood self within me. Like, I went to uni and I felt like, oh my god, I'm gonna grow up, but I still brought my childhood teddy bear with me. And it's so weird that like you're trying to grow up but you're bringing the childhood teddy with you. But like, I went to uni and so many people did that as well. Like, it's so normal to do that, and it's just so weird how our generation is generally just stuck in this phase of like trying to hold on to our childhood self, something that keeps us safe. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I genuinely don't think it's a bad thing. Anyways, I've got to end this here because I'm sweating so much in this car. But if you are enjoying my videos, please give them a thumbs up, because then it definitely shows me like if you're actually enjoying these videos or not. But if not, you can unlike them as well. I don't really mind. Kind of gives me what. Shut up. I don't know what I go on about sometimes. But anyways, all I'm saying is I'm really hot. I need to leave, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.